Everybody, you made it through module 1. So by now, you already know that there's a really big importance for mentorship in the marketplace. You already know that there's a legacy on you have to create, right? Now, this one is all about the community environment. Now, when you're creating community, you've got to be very specific about why it is you're doing it, right? Your intentions behind it, because otherwise, people will corrupt your message. You should avoid corruption of your message and your mentorship path and your opportunities. When you're testing things, people are going to take them and they're going to test them in their own way. They're going to do things that's going to piss you off, right? The same reason why I got mad at some of my mentors and burned some of my bridges early on. Not a good thing. Don't do that. But why you get mad about somebody taking what you've done or taking an idea that you have to share, that's part of why you need to be very careful in how you steward your growth. Because if you can be broken down, if you can be offended by the journey or the application of the journey, there is a control in your community that you are responsible for. If you are not a healed person, you should not expand your industry. If you haven't fixed the damage inside of you from the years of abuse or the trauma or whatever it is that you went through when you were growing up, when you were going through business, why you're no longer in business in the way that you were in, right? Like those are reasons why I'm not doing the type of business I was, is because I had to sever my ties with that environment. See, I learn different. I'm a spectrum kid, right? So I'm neurodiverse as all hell, right? I read adult books. I read stuff on philosophy, on personal growth, on mathematics, like psychology, like all the stuff, right? All the shit that normal people don't. And that gives me insight into who I am and to how I think. But it also gives insight into how I learn. And how I learn comes from who I learn from. Not only do I seek out spiritual people, not like your Aunt Edna throwing out some like tarot cards thinking she's all like psychic and talking to her dead great aunt. Like, no, that's a different type. I'm talking about lineage. I'm talking about authority. I am talking about legitimate worldly power supplemented by a divine insight, so that you are speaking prophetically about your business and what you offer. So if you don't believe that, you don't have to. The people that I study, they do. And that's what makes it incredible, is because they are stewards of a message bigger than themselves. This message is bigger than myself. This is about you and your environment. Who's going to help you in your environment? In my environment, I needed to learn how to speak. Because being on the spectrum, I didn't have words that I could say that were other than swear words or industry specific to what I was doing. I didn't have the vocabulary because I wasn't able to get trained in the right kind of way. So here's a game I play with my mentors. If I do, then you do. If I come up with something and I know it's terrible, but you can do it better, and I will study you. That creates a community environment. That creates a path and a legacy that's unlike anything around. Why is it so important that we play the game of if? Because if I do this, then you do this, then I do this, and then we all improve and we are creating progress. We are creating something that busts the mold of convention. It doesn't matter if you don't read good. It doesn't matter if you don't talk good. You can learn. You can learn from Pete Vargas and Pat Quinn how to talk. You don't think good? Talk to Tony Robbins. That man will make you think good. You don't have faith in yourself? Talk to Garrett White or Grant Cardone, and they will put you on the right path. You know, you don't have faith? Talk to Pedro. He has nothing but faith. Serves the kingdom, all his heart. Right? Those are the men I needed to surround myself with. Those are the men, because of my damage and my background, I wanted to work with first. Whoever it was that was a man of faith between the ages of 36 and 60. somebody who knew they had something to do and deliver to the community that was different. It came at it different. Entrepreneurs are different, but we need every business to function on the planet in congruency with what we do and who we are. So we have to create an environment that is congruent to ourselves. See, I don't want to give power for power's sake. I want to give power to the right people so that they can stand united, so that we can stand together and we can take back our country from fear. We can change the dialogue. We can break the goddamn rhetoric that is corrupting today, so that schools that don't teach business framework from people that are doing business at the highest possible levels, industry leaders in sciences that are being supplanted by religious doctrine, people that are breaking the laws of physics every day, they should be teaching the physics classes. They should have institutionalized nothing about education, right? Teach people how to learn, teach people why they need to seek out self-knowledge, certify them, doctors, lawyers, pilots, the hard sciences that we need them to be trained in a certain way so that we don't die if we step on the plane. Business is the same way. I don't want to die from starvation. I don't want to die because I can't create the words that will bring the customers to me. See, I don't want to go out and get customers. I don't want to be that seedy network marketing guy. I want people to come to me. Why? Because I've got a message to say. I've got a thing to do, but I want it to be the right people that come. I want it to be the right people that will take this and steward it in a way that will let my message speak to their community in a way that I cannot, in a place where I am not. So that it doesn't matter if it comes from me originally, it goes to where it needs to, so that it can uplift those that would be uplifted. And this is a problem that I have in my business, is that I have a problem rejecting the burden of those who would not. It's rely not on mercy, for in mercy lies perceived weakness. Right? What I do is not merciful. What I do is strategic. Why I go through my mentorship courses, why it is that I'm looking to guide people, to lead people, to be led by the people that are the very best at what they do, is because studying power is important. Studying the best at what they do, they know better than I do. So I need to learn better. But my path of understanding comes from needing to find that understanding in others. So if you can deliver a thing of understanding to your people in your way, with your words, using these concepts, you can do it, because you have that responsibility to them to serve. So that together we can stand up and say, I have a business. I am doing this to help these people for this purpose. I'm teaching mentorship in the marketplace using a network marketing strategy. It's unlike anything people are using today. Or maybe they are using it now. I don't know what's happened to it. It's been 18 months. Not to date the course or anything, but this is going to be hopefully something that I sell for a long time. So what people are doing, what you're doing, why you're doing it, matters more than the moment that you came to this course. At the moment that you hear these words, it's already affected thousands of people. It's already created nearly $1 billion in the hands of Pete Vargas, Pedro Deo, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi. God knows who else by now, but it's already created $1 billion industry, creating modern day mentorship, using places like mastermind.com, using places like Rise Up World, or the Stage to Scale program that Pete's come up with, or the Project Next Level, or the Mastermind World Summit, or the Platform World Tour, or the Rise Up World Tour. It's all about creating an environment of progress so that no matter where you're at, you have a thread of connectivity that links you to professional speakers, that links you to professional course builders, to business leaders that are doing it in the marketplace now. So that as you serve and while you serve, it becomes the most important thing on the planet, because you have somebody and you have a message and you have something important. What is it going to be, and what's it going to take to make your environment better? Right? I've got business owners that I'm working with that are in the grief management space. You know, it's COVID. Everybody's dying. Everybody's sad. There's always a reason to be grief stricken for something. But the recovery from it, life after loss, these sorts of things, these are important things that people need to be able to do. And so it's not just about cultivating business relationships. It's about cultivating caregiver relationships, the people that are doing the thing in the nursing homes, that are changing the way that people who can't care for themselves get cared for, but in a non-abusive way. That's really important. So I've put a lot into helping that community as well, so that way we can uplift those that can do for themselves and those that can't. So that between the two community groups, there is a dialogue, so that there is training available that exists, so that the people that are doing something important have the means to grip into it. But it only works if they understand their importance in the community and why they have to get their head out of their ass in order to be able to put pen to paper, build their courses, build their funnels, put it out into the marketplace, run their challenges, collaborate with others. That's the path, guys. That is the path, absolutely. See, a challenge, what it does is it allows people to know, like, and trust you before they listen to what you have to say. What one thing can you teach them how to do that's unlike anything else around, that only comes from you? How do you walk them through it? One thing, and then you have something you can offer that is congruent to who you are, and is congruent to what you've said, and is congruent to the path of creation that you have developed. These are the important things, because in that period of a challenge, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever, doesn't matter. The fact is, it's a period of them to acclimate to the sound of your voice, to the message you have to say, and the way that you deliver it. So that way, if they want to spend money with you, they can buy your course. And if they can buy your course, they can listen to you and they can think about you. They can think about the thing that you have to say and the reason why you want to say it, like this one, right? But then what do you do with that? You group those people together. You create a Facebook community group. This is where I love community groups, right? You have the admins that don't let you post in certain ways. You have to be very careful on how you word your videos so that it doesn't sound pitchy and gross. But you give out step-by-step homework to get engagement, to create dialogue between customers, so that way people can talk to each other. They can reach out behind the scenes and create collaborations. It's not an island alone. It's about what you're doing and who you're doing it for, so that you don't go too fast, but at the same time, you go fast enough to where you're still making progress in a positive direction. Then you have an event. This is where Pete comes in. This is where public stages come in. This is where you have the means to go and talk about the course that you're developing, or the program that you're creating, or the challenge that you're running. You get on somebody else's stage, right? Who will steward your message before you're able to get out there better than you can in your season? Give it to them to do. Give it to them to test. Improve it along the way. So where you fail, they succeed. And where they succeed, you can succeed even better, because now you have somebody to step on and with together. You're not stepping on them as like a bad thing. It's like you're stepping with them, like up to their level, right? Like you can go from nowhere to somewhere really incredible if you have these things that allow you to connect to people in a much different way, in a much deeper way. Because it's about the message that you have that serves and carries you from where you were yesterday to where you are today to where you'll be tomorrow, and how your people connect to that, so that you can serve them in a way that is unlike anything else. So that the courage that you need, you can find. That's why an environment is so important. Who do you want to work with? Who would work with you when no one else will? When your messages are terrible, when your ideas are crap. It's not about having power for power's sake. It's about having the leverage of something that works out so beautifully, when applied, uplifts the many. But you're not responsible to the many. I'm not responsible for your failure with this course. I'm not responsible for you not doing the thing. I'm not responsible for you doing the thing. I'm just responsible for putting the idea in your head. And it's my hope that if you like the idea, we go deeper on deeper projects, because this isn't the end. This course, just the beginning of a relationship. Because one of the things that I've understood over the years is I've been a published author since 2007, 2008, when I came out with the Codex Arcanum Volume 2, which was a collaboration between Julie Gatfield and Fatima Walsh. But they abandoned the project, or they abandoned me, or I wound up paying them all the money off they put into it. So the whole thing became mine anyway. So the concept was to create a place, it was a temple. And again, I'll go back to the temple thing, because religion is really important, because first we are in service to our higher power. In this case, our higher power is our business message. We are in service to our business message that will service the community, that will service the family, it will service the economy, and it will then bring gifts back to us in our time when we have something worth saying that people need more of. So in 2012, I wrote a book. It was a 10-year project of all of the methodologies, all of the ceremonies that I've done for money, like all the weddings, the funerals, the exorcisms, like, yeah, I get up into all that, right? And I have a track record in the community with Alex Matsuo, who's in the spooky stuff. That's her platform, right? So on her podcast the other day, we were talking about what we did 10 years ago in San Diego when we were doing, house clearings and the paranormal and things like that, right? It's a service. I don't like charging people for that service, but I do like charging people for business. Why? Because business changes the world in a way that none of the intangible stuff will. If you teach a business owner the right methodology to think about and the right mechanics in which to use in that time, that's great. Congratulations, you've created a toolbox. But what you haven't done is you haven't created an environment in which that toolbox is viable. I don't care about the books I've written. I care about what my books have said, what I do with my books in the marketplace. I was trying to create a pact, the pact of power, the concept of taking elite level magic from very secular traditions that I've learned and compiled tradition free. So that means there's no gods, there's no angels, there's no demons, there's no lineage of its own. It is something that somebody can take up, understand, and apply in order to use the law of narration, which is a greater form of the law of attraction. So you have the law of attraction where you create an idea and it's so dense that things are drawn to it. The law of narration is the genesis story. It is your genesis of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you do it in the marketplace, so that what you create, why you create it, and how you're creating it. In the beginning, there was your darkness. What was your darkness? Mine was I would make it feel like I was 4 years old because of my divergence, because of my issues physically. All right. Oh, I went off. I was fuck this. Absolutely fuck this. I stepped away from my business. I stepped away from my abuse. I said no more. I reached out to the people that I was working with. I told them about my legacy project. I told them about my crazy ideas. You know what? They were the best stewards of it because they were able to implement where I was not in my season. So you're here. You're learning. You have a thing on your heart to do, a business that you're in, an environment you're trying to create for yourself and for others. Who is it that you can use in your season of learning, in your inability, that can apply your work better than you can, so that you can learn how to do it better than they can? Love more, serve more, be better. Not better than them, not better for some ego reason, but be better. Fix your damage, fix your heart, fix your darkness, bring out your light. That's what you have to figure out how to do. So why you do these things, how you do these things, what is it that you're doing in your environment that will allow you to shape it in accordance with your will? This is where it gets fun. Magic is the manipulation of your environment in accordance with your will. What I have just told you is the very principle that Aleister Crowley was trying to talk about. But we're doing it from business. We are changing our environment to suit our will by strategically controlling what we say and why. That is the principle of the occult. Straight up. That's the principle of heaven. That is the principle of speaking from darkness into light. How do we take our darkness and make light? How do we become divine? How do we channel the divine? This is how we do it. We adjust the darkness around us and we control our environment. We get other people involved that can control their environment so that together we can control the entire environment. So it's not just me alone. It's not just you alone. It's that business that you have inside of you that will help other people grow. This is how we do it. This is why we do it. So that together we can do incredible shit. Incredible, right? Again, I worked in an adult store. Like, my filter is a little bit screwy. So like me or don't like me, doesn't matter. Just listen. Put it in your own words. Do it for your own community. Test it for yourself. Build out the thing that you need using other people's money, other people's stages, so that in your season you can step up and say, hey, look, this is why these things needed to be done. This is why mastermind.com needed to be built, so that there was a place for people to be able to go through a marketplace and learn from others in their season. This is the entire reason mastermind.com needed to be built. And it couldn't have been done by me in my season. It needed to be done by somebody who was in their own season, who needed to have something to do that could contribute back to the community on a larger scale. Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, they were the best. They built out their courses because they know courses, they know people, they know personal development. But people were shitting on them and their message. People hated on Tony that I knew. Absolutely hated on him, because it's not for what he did and said. It's because of the people that were corrupting the messaging process. People that were taking half an idea and running with it. Because there was no stewardship, there was no path of mentorship, there was no guiding force around his messaging. It was, you come to a seminar and you go home. You're back in the world. There is no immersive environment. That needed to change. So they changed it. Over the last 2 years, they've changed it. It's been an incredible journey for them. It has been an incredible journey for me to be able to be immersed into this community. And that's why it's so important that you find someone in your environment that you can work with. Send an email, say, look, I am really good at one thing. This is what I'm really good at. I will trade you. You do this, I will do this. If you do, I do. You invest back. You give back. You share. If you're in a season where somebody's coming to you and you need a thing from them, or they don't, the whole thing about business is you want to find people that need you more than you need them. Right? Because of what you do, because of what you say. That's how you bring business to you. They need you more than you need them. But the message you have, you need to say that more than you need them to pay you. So you need to find voices that will steward your message, be your team where no one else will, because you can find it. You can do it. I did it. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't know it was going to happen. Shit happens. Let's see where it goes. Right? And it's in this season, it's in these cycles that we have to lead with what it is we offer, why it is we're doing what we're doing, so that we can change the game of network marketing. We can change the game of mentorship. We can change the game of life by controlling the narrative. We can control the way our business works, what we do in our business, and why. It's like, not only did my staff in 90 days know how to talk to my customers, teach my customers the information I taught them, will be able to suggest new. They wanted to seek out new toys. They wanted to bring in new inventory. They wanted engagement in what we were doing because it was an awesome experience. But at the same time, there were also voices of my company where I was not. They also did things. Well, I'm not a social person. I don't go out to the events. I don't do well in crowds, which is something I'm going to get over, right? But that doesn't mean I can't have the training to be able to deliver a team member out there. So that where I'm not, my message is. My business is where I am not. And that's the whole name of the game. What is an environment that you can control by creating a path for your legacy? So as you think about these things today, it's not a mindset. This is strategic planning. This is, you can go through and you can list out who are your dream people to do and to work with and why. I have gotten a chance to speak into businesses on my dream list in the first 18 months of the development of this process, so that I know it works. I know it's created $500 million and it's impacted the lives of millions of people already. And I have just gotten started. This is going to be fun. But it's going to be fun in a different ways, because it's fun because we're making positive change. It's not about the dollar signs. It's about the impact of people's lives. What one thing can you do to impact the lives of somebody else that will never, ever know you, that will never hear this message, that will never hear your message? What can you do to be a positive change and influence in this world through the environment that you create? That's what you're responsible for. That is what your business is responsible for. So let's do it together. And that's the thing. So write it out, walk it out, create copy, share that copy with one other person, get their opinion, get their feedback, improve, reach it out to 2 people, build, collaborate. You're not in competition, you're in collaboration, guys. Girls, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, people, doesn't matter your pronouns. Y'all in collaboration with each other. Y'all, it's my default. All right, yay retail. Anyway, think about these things, apply these things. It is important. So stick with me for the next one. Chat with you soon. Hope you have a wonderful period between tonight's video and the next time you watch. Don't do it all at once. Walk it out. Don't binge watch these things. Don't do it all at once. Give some time between this video and the next, because I want you to think about it, but not too much time, because I want you to do something about it. It's one person that you can do. Email about your business and create a path of mentorship through that opportunity. So think about these things. Bye for now.